Hey everyone, this is Ben back with you in the model shop. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Just a quick little update as we're moving along on the Missouri build here. In this episode I start working up the next couple of layers on the main Superstructure deck. Kind of more of the same as before. Got to get the holes drilled for all the ladders, get those rungs installed, paint things. We get the wooden decks installed in this episode on both layers here. And I also stain everything up, get the decks all stained, and get the basic stuff put together. The big thing in this episode, because there doesn't look like a lot of progress here to show, is really that the Pontos detail set has become a little bit of a struggle in terms of following the instructions. Basically, that instruction set is a lot of photographs of everything once it's all done. But it's not in any kind of order. So it's not like you start here at step 1, go to step 2, step 3, and you just follow along until it's finished. It's more like, here's a picture of this deck. I hope you catch all the details. And that has caused some problems because I struggle quite a bit to discover or decide what order to do things in. So that's just a little bit of a frustration, but it all kind of works out, and I feel like we're at a good point where we can start working our way up and building up a lot of the detail that is available here on the superstructure. So anyway, without further ado, I hope everyone has a good holiday, and this is not a very in-depth video, but take a look at some of the stuff going together here, and we'll catch y'all next time. Let's get back into it. So as we start moving up to the next section of the superstructure, as you can see, I began a mission of drilling ladder rung holes all over creation. It's been a little bit difficult because the instructions are kind of all over the place with Pontos, but this is what I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. Check out the total lack of detail on that door. It is terrible. So I am going to go ahead and pick out a door here from our little door shop on the Pontos kits and slap one on there on both sides. Probably, I don't know, probably going to go with one of these or one of these. Not sure. The problem is in the instruction kit, instructions for the kit, there is nothing about doors on there. I haven't been able to find a single one that's been identified. So just going to try and make the best decision that I can. So anyway, yeah, that's one spot where the kit is lacking, and the Pontos kit will make up for it. Here we go. So I actually think there's only 4 places where ladders need to be installed. Here on the opposite side, and then right here, same thing, opposite side. And I went ahead and installed that door. Looks good. Just thought I'd show everyone real quick. So now I'm going to go ahead and dress any large plastic pieces that need to be attached here. And then we'll start making our way up the next levels to get things attached. Just want to note that what's slow right now is these instructions from Pontos, because things are just kind of all over the place in terms of where you need to be. So it's kind of like do a couple of steps and then dig through the instructions and figure out for sure, did you miss anything before you get to the next part. So that's what we're working on now. Alright, so it was kind of a lot of work here, but I just wanted to show off real quick some of the photo etch that is installed before we go to paint. In this section of the deck is a combination of the Pontos and the kit provided parts. This was, I don't know, I guess a lot of work. Some of the Pontos numbering is difficult to understand and follow, and I discovered there is actually supposed to be a kit supplied door installed there, but I grabbed this Pontos door and stuck it on instead, and I think it's fine. So as far as I could tell, I did a bunch of fit checking and everything looks like it is okay. This piece right here, it's neat because there's this vent right next to that ladder that you get going around the plastic part. Anyway, yeah, all I got to say right now is I had to spend a lot of time studying instructions just to get these few pieces on and get them to make sense. So going to paint now, do the French light blue on the side and then get the deck gray or weather deck blue up on top here everywhere that looks like it's appropriate before we move on to installing it right up here on top of that piece. And here's another photo etch ladder right there. I discovered in the instructions that I had missed. That is the kit supplied part. It was not in the Pontos instructions, but it was in the kit supplied instructions. So anyway, that's that. Let's go ahead and get this painted up and figure out what we're going to do next. Well, after a bunch of painting and masking and messing around, the next section is finally got the two base colors of paint on it, and we have some little details in place. The ladders look sharp and everything like that. So now it's safe to say we can go ahead and get the wooden deck glued on to this next section before we start working on the parts. There's a big piece that goes here and up here and other things. So let's get those decks parts installed. So I got all the 4 wood pieces like just cut out real quick and ready to install, and I thought, oh yeah, we'll just put those down, and just to verify I got everything right, I'll run over here to the instructions. And I was like, wait a minute, where are all these numbers and pieces and what's all that? Turns out there's a whole bunch of photo etch that's also supposed to go on as part of the deck. So the question is, which one goes down first? Should we install the deck first or the photo etch? The big clue, well, definitely this one goes on top. Those 2 yellow pieces right there, it says 844 or 206, 843 or 207. They do have to go on top. They end up, yeah, right here, I believe, on this area, on top of the deck. And I looked at some of the other pieces, and I just kind of decided, you know what, we get the deck glued down, and then I can add the photo etch, and it will work out okay. So as you can see, this piece is, I threw this up here because you need it to get the spacing right. I'm going to have to do the same thing back here. So let's get I'm going to go ahead and do it, pull the trigger, and get the wood deck glued down next, and then we'll add the photo etch. Okay, so, all right. The wood pieces are installed, they got the deck in, and I went ahead, I had to go back to the floor part and add in all of the brass photo etch that I can add at the moment that goes along the edge of the decks. Now here's the thing, they're actually pretty cool, and these actually go on the main deck, on the main hull, all around the side. And I'm showing to you them now before I end up painting them and we go ahead and stain the deck so you can see what they all look like. But tell you what, the thing that's nice about this little move, let me turn around here. Alright, so here's part of the Moe's hull. But let's just get in. I'm going to get real close here for a second. See that lip kind of along the edge where the wood's at? The wood deck? I had that on the Arizona. And it was kind of annoying. I'm like, well, I'll come back and clean this all up later. If you go over here, though, and we are going to, sorry about that quick list, we are going to be putting those parts on the main hull. It adds this nice finishing edge. There's a little lip right there that helps level off the wooden deck a little bit. So I'm actually really glad that that was included in the Pontos kit. So yeah, that's nice. This is all the pieces kind of in this section right here that now kind of go together. But what we're going to do next is stain the wooden deck. So this is the last time everyone's going to see it in the natural wood because we got to go ahead and stain it. And then I think enough of these details are set that we could put that top piece on here and set it all up. So let's get the deck done. So there we go. It's not glued together, it's just thrown up here. As you can see, there's a much more worn finish on these upper deck areas, the idea being that they would be traversed more often than the main deck, and yeah, that's about it. That's my reasoning behind it. I might darken up a little bit later, but we'll see. All right, so you can see all of the photo etch along the edges. What I'm going to do is mask off after the deck's dried the deck, and go ahead and hit that with airbrush Weather Deck Blue again, and have those pieces be finished. So that's about it for this segment. Alright, this is going to be it for now. I've got the photo etch along the edge all painted up, and it looks good. There's a lot of little things here and there that need to be touched up. This is going to be a lot of the working platform for a while. Some things of note, so there's this, like, I don't know if you want to call it a funnel or what, but it goes right there, and if you install it, and the instructions do want you to install it right now, you're going to have trouble fitting the next piece up underneath in there, and so I'm waiting until get a little bit further along on that. So I still have to paint all the portholes on the next level of the deck. I still have to paint all the oxygen, and while they're oxygen tanks, I don't know what the other tanks are called that go along here. I got to do a little research on that. I know I've heard it before, but those are the details that go on there. We're going to paint some stuff and start getting it, just livened up and everything. Right here, this lip needs to be painted the deck blue. And then we've got our next little section here that drops in place like that. So we'll be working on that. And it's got to slide back all the way. There you go. And it's seated nicely. The ship's bell actually hangs right there. And I have a nice brass one provided by Pontos for that I'm pretty excited about. We'll save that for later. So anyway, that's it. She's starting to come together. I feel like we have the basic part of the superstructure here to work off of. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving, and if you don't celebrate it where you're at, that's okay. Just remember to be thankful for something. We all do. And we'll try and get some more detail done. I hope you all enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you next time.